people don't realise, yeah, once them gates are shut, and you're behind them big four walls, you ain't got a clue what they do to people in there. It's a different prison today, but they still, if they want to, they can kill you easy, yeah. If you're a pain in the butt and there's not too many people that visit you or write to you, you're in trouble, mate. You're in trouble. I mean, the screws walk down the road like normal people, yeah? But as soon as you go for that gate and them keys are chucked at them for a flap, yeah? And they pick them keys up, they become different people. They become like, you couldn't believe it, well, it's change, it's like a change. They get the key, put them in there, they become animals because of the power. They've got no power walking down the road. They've got no power as they walk into prison. But as soon as they get them keys, and they put them keys in that hook, power.
Again, this is the weapon that seems to create some kind of, I don't know, awe and mystery. Just so that you're in the picture. The average one is, I think, 27 inches long and weighs 18 ounces. Nothing dramatic. The use of the riot stave. When you do use it, if you use it, you always aim for the upper arms and the upper legs. In other words, you catch them across there, or there, and the upper arm, and the upper legs. Okay. The reason for that is simply that if you've received a clout in the right place on your arms, you cannot use your arms effectively for several minutes. It doesn't cause permanent damage. That is not the game that we're in. Whatever retribution is coming the perpetrator's way is not for us to say. That's a matter for the governor and the judiciary. Let's face the facts. Let's get it down onto the nitty-gritty. You're vulnerable. You'll always be vulnerable. And you're vulnerable to attack, you're vulnerable to weapons, you're vulnerable to assault, and more importantly, you're vulnerable to allegations. And this is why we insist on this high professional discipline training. It's the only way that we are going to win in any kind of confrontation situation. It's the only way that you, as prison officers, are going to come out of it and say, well, it was messy, but we controlled it. It was dangerous, but we got it so that we could manage it in our own way, in our own time. We are not the aggressors. In this situation, you are the controllers. But of course, in that controlling act, you've got to use carefully planned, carefully controlled, disciplined force. Hence the term Mufti. Minimum use of force, and I'm told the other two initials are tactical intervention. So there you are. Think on it, gentlemen.
Right. Right, chop.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, today we have with us our regional director, who on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen will present to our colleague Officer Woodall the Imperial Service Medal. Before he does so, I would like to acquaint you with his service to the Crown. Officer Woodall joined the Royal Air Force in 1937 until 1945 and came out with the rank of sergeant. He then joined the prison service here at Manchester in 1952 until he was promoted in August of '68 as a senior officer. He has now been disestablished and re-engaged as an officer here at this prison. I will now ask the regional director on behalf of Her Majesty to present the Imperial Service Medal to Mr. Woodall.
Thank you.
Many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very well deserved honour.
Thank you.
I hope you'll appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Right, standard. Right. Right. Right, chop. Dismiss.
I get SWAT team here, lads.
Turnkey, jailer, warder, screw. Names that generations of prisoners have given to the prison officer as he is officially known. Traditionally, prison officers have been wary and suspicious of the world outside the jail. They have not come to expect sympathy or understanding from society, which still demands imprisonment for those deemed to threaten it. It is the nature of their unique job. They are men who lock other men away. To control the average daily prison population of 1,600, over 250 officers are required in Strangeways. There is an obvious parallel between them and the services, with their uniforms, discipline, camaraderie, and command structure. The blue shirt denotes the status of the basic grade prison officer. There are some 200 known as blue collars. Then there are 4 grades from senior officer to chief officer 1. Their status is made plain by their white shirts. They are known as white collars.
Now, while you're in the service, well, certainly whilst you're under training, you are under the Official Secrets Act, which simply means whatever you see or hear in this establishment is not passed on to anywhere else. So whatever you see or hear, and you go out at night with your wife or your friends for a drink, be extremely careful who is next door to you, because it might be a reporter looking for a story, and you are going to give them one. So whatever you see or hear in this place, keep it to yourself. The other thing is, while you're here, start the way you mean to go on. Inmates are human beings and they must be treated like human beings. But you are authority and you must exert your authority. Your job from now on is to care for people. Now let me say quite frankly to you, if you think you've come to the prison service to lock people up and unlock people, then you're in the wrong job. We are not here to lock people up or to unlock them. We are here to care for them and to look after them and see that they have what they are entitled to and help them wherever we can. That is going to be your job for the next 30 odd years. That is what we are going to train you for.
I mean, I don't come to this place and try to be Mr. Wonderful and get people to like me. I don't come here. I come here to lock them up, and they know that. No, I try and do my job. If a bloke doesn't like it, that's his problem. It's not my problem, because he's the person who got himself into this jam, not me. So he's got to put up with it. A lot of the tasks could be classed as mundane, really. Patrolling a wing, where you're not really doing a lot, you're walking about. Issuing mail, collecting mail, issuing newspapers, slopping people out, taking people to classes, taking people to be seen by the governor. It's not sort of difficult, but it's time-consuming. It can be very frustrating when everybody wants somebody at once and you're trying to find somebody and someone else is using him. So you can be doing a lot of running about and getting nowhere, so it can be difficult. Other days you can have a nice easy day, as it were, when nothing much happens, and then something happens. You may get an alarm bell, you may get an officer assaulted, you may get prisoners fighting. You just never know what can turn up. So there is some interest.
How can you honestly rehabilitate a man who's been coming here before I was born and had every professional advice and help from teachers, doctors, psychiatrists to help him in his younger age, when he was younger, in Borstal, DC, and they expect us, which we have to do, try and help instill some sort of discipline in these people. Very, very difficult. A thankless job.
If somebody wanted, from the outside world, as I call it, if they said to me, what can we do to help in this treatment and training? I would say this: just leave us alone. Just leave the professionals, and that is what we are. Just leave us to do our job.
And generally, I think we've been presented in a bad light. I don't know why, because I believe the prison officer is an ordinary sort of bloke, perhaps a little more law-abiding. He's a taxpaying, rate-paying citizen. He does believe in freedom. He does believe in right and wrong. And I think it shows he knows that society is being threatened. And it's now and again, all right, he may turn out, he may seem to be a little bit on the harsh side, but I think it's just a backlash against the do-gooders and the left-wing MPs who seem to have the whip hand at the moment and have had for a few years now.
And don't forget, the people that we're controlling have failed to live in a normal society, but they will not fail in our society, because we will exercise control and discipline, which always sounds like a dirty word to the people outside. We will exercise control and discipline, and we will ensure that they will behave themselves in here.
With various allowances, blue-collar officers can, on average, earn over $8,000 a year, but this is dependent on at least 13 hours overtime a week. Senior officers and principal officers earn about $10,000 a year with a similar amount of overtime. Chief officers, $11,000. But there has been a growth of discontent felt by some basic grade prison officers, which has led to the possibility of a breakaway blue-collar union. This has not gone unnoticed by the #1 prison officer in Strangeways, Chief Officer Rowlandson. His first loyalty is to the governor, his second to the officers he commands. His prime duty, the smooth running of the prison. The chief is still a member of the POA, the Prison Officers Union, despite being part of the senior management in the prison. Seen here with the governor is Principal Officer Brian Baldwin, the chairman of Strangeways branch of the Prison Officers Association. Baldwin is concerned at the threat that a breakaway blue-collar union presents to the POA. John Sutton is the man at the centre of this challenge to the local prison establishment. His career and reputation are now on the line. Sutton's task is a formidable one, to convince enough blue-collar officers at Strangeways and other prisons that their best interests lie with him and a new union.
And in 1980, compulsory overtime, in my opinion, is absolutely out the window. It's 7:45 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night on a bank holiday. Absolute rubbish. Are you trying to tell me that that's reasonable hours? Charles Dickens wrote books about that.
John, look, I've told you before, I'm in agreement with this. Yeah. I mean, I'm a white collar, and I'm prepared to go in another union.
Well, you can't feel you're representative.
And I would say that, but your line of argument to Harry now has nothing to do with the difference between white collar and blue collar. You're talking about the EC, which has got blue collars on it.
What man in his right mind can be expected to start work at 7 o'clock in the morning and work till 5:30 and to be told that you get paid 8 3/4 hours when we have civilians who can come in here and work on flexi hours, providing they're in between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m, will get paid for every hour they're in the establishment. You can't blame the NEC for that. You can only blame us.
We can blame
We have accepted that.
Exactly.
It's up to us to change
You've got
it.
to be represented. Now, I don't feel that the management team can represent
but
you.
this has got nothing to do with the white collar and blue collar.
No.
You're expressing dissatisfaction with the POA.
When people sit down at a negotiating table, and they've got to feel they've got the strength of the movement behind them. Now, if you've got management team members sitting down negotiating on behalf of the workers, it just is not going to happen, is it? You've got
You talk about white collars and all that, and you're on about we have white collars here on our branch.
Yeah.
Who elected them?
Listen,
Come on, wait a minute. Who elected them?
The membership itself,
right.
and most of them blue collars.
Exactly. The vast majority.
Most of them, the vast majority.
Probably about 300 out of 360 of
I voted for them. I voted for the white collars because the men here, Baldwin and Elliot, have represented me in the past 18 months, unbelievably, far more than what I would have ever envisaged. They would have been marvellous. But obviously, the problem comes here when they're like puppets for the NEC. When the Chairman Baldwin came back and said, at the meeting here, when he turned around and said he'd never seen such a carve-up in his life regarding the meeting that went on, the special delegates meeting, he actually said in all his years of experience, he was disgusted with the NEC. That's from our Chairman, and I believe him.
So change the NEC.
You see,
that's it.
I agree, but the problem is they've
when you
written
put
their own...
other management men up there as well, you can't do it. In my opinion, you've got to have the workers representing the workers.
What's going to your NEC would be in effect be blue collar.
They would all be blue collar,
speaking
speaking from a blue collar point of view, not from a management point of view.
They're going to guarantee you that you'll get the representation that you want.
I can guarantee you this, mister, that the bloody management can't possibly purport to represent the workers because they're so far removed from the workers and they've got positions of authority to protect within the management infrastructure of this department that they are totally incapable of seeing the problems that we are faced with on the shop floor.
And they've never worked.
I'll tell you what, they've allowed this job to deteriorate. They've allowed this job to deteriorate over the last 5 years that I've
don't
been
just
in.
blame them. Don't just blame them.
What's all this about the workers in the shop floor? That's got political overtones as far as I'm concerned.
You're not saying that I'm politically
We're not talking about
motivated,
politics
am I?
now.
I'm saying that the workers on the shop floor,
definitely not.
we are the only people.
We're not. We're in a unique job, different from outside.
Are you saying that the fire brigade, they've got to work in a very close-knit team. Now, they have got individual representation for the basic fire grade officers.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott was the fireman. Did it work?
Oh, yeah. Of
course it'll work. Nobody's anti-management. I'm not anti-management. All I'm saying is managers manage, workers work.
And I think yours would work.
Yeah. And it will work.
What standard have you got?
You want to keep calm. If you're going to start causing too much trouble, if it gets too much on you, because to make it rough.
Well, Luke, he cautioned me about the disciplinary code, where I could be held liable for bringing the service into disrepute. But it's, in my opinion, it's not me bringing the service into disrepute. The people themselves are bringing the service into disrepute by ostracising us and refusing us facilities that are granted to virtually every other group of individuals who care to put the case forward. So why us in particular? What's wrong with that?
I agree with you. I agree, but we should keep calm, because he only needs an excuse. And you could be out. Look, he could ship you out, he could do anything he wanted. If you give him an excuse, if you keep calm...
This is not Victorian. It might be a Victorian jail, but we're not Victorian damn jailers, no.
But I don't think we can charge him with disobedience to orders.
Well, what's this bottom one say?
A few days later, John Sutton's challenge had become a direct one for Governor Brown and the Chief.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
He had appeared on a local television programme discussing his proposed new union, despite being officially forbidden to do so. The Governor is now determined to discipline him under prison rules. But which rule, and on what charge?
Correct neglects or without good sufficient cause fails to prompt and generally do anything which is in his duty.
Well, no, he's not that's under neglect of duty, sir. He's not neglecting his duty. I think that's the one we must do him under.
Say, disobedience of orders.
Yes, but before we make out the white style sheet, the discipline of those failing to obey an order is not in the discipline code. Don't challenge.
Well, you're charging disobedience to orders. You're charging him. You're charging
disobeying the governor's order.
Yeah, no, disobedience to orders. I.e., disobey the direct order given by the deputy governor.
Without good and sufficient cause fails to carry out any lawful order.
But
he was given a lawful order not to contact anybody without my authority.
Yeah.
So the ship's in a
good state.
Despite warnings, possible disciplinary charges, and imminent expulsion from the POA, John Sutton is determined to go ahead with his inaugural meeting of the Prison Force Federation in a hall hired for the occasion in the centre of Manchester.
Right, gentlemen, well, you can see the massive response we've had. I think this is Tenor Machine 1, John Sutton 0, but we're going to go ahead because I believe that we need it. And I'm standing here tonight as an honest man, and it's taken a lot of courage, I can tell you, because I'm up against it more than anybody else. I'm so far out on a limb that if they decide to have a go, I feel that I will be standing on my own. We've got to work in conditions that, let's face it, they're Dickensian, and if we kept dogs in these places, 3 to a cell, without the ability to use proper facilities, then the RSPCA, they would think that we were being cruel to animals, wouldn't they? Would a trade union allow its members to work in a place like this? Now, where are all these inmates going? They're being crammed into the jails and they're using people like you and me as mugs.
The first official meeting of the Prison Force Federation was to be one of very few, for in a matter of months it was dead and buried. John Sutton, as its inspiration, was not inspired enough. A mixture of apathy, suspicion, and hostility defeated him. Sutton was expelled from the POA and was given an official warning from the governor about his behaviour. He still works in the prison.
Thanks, Ray, but they're all right, they're all right. They're all with me in the hospital now, over. He won 50 grand. Had a plaster off yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know about him?
No, I
well,
told
no,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, but he said he's got a bit of pain from it.
Yeah.
It's just he can't sleep.
Yeah.
So can you give us anything at all for him?
Yeah, I'll give
An
you
aspirin or
stuff for him.
something, whatever it is, Lolly, you know. Fine, Dan, you're still alive, eh?
You're still alive, yeah.
Right. And there's your 2 tablets, so. Got any water?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Right, go. Hands of Mercy, eh? That's me. Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale.
Yeah.
One of the best officers in, isn't he?
Best looking, you mean?
Best looking, yeah.
Or just best? Now you'll feel no more pain. You'll be dead in an hour.
You better not be.
Okay. No problems. Okay, Mr. Baker, I think we let these lads go to sleep now. If we can get out. Eh?
Good afternoon.
Time now.
It's your
10 past 11.
10 past 11.
Come on.
Now, I've had more communications from the special branch during the course of this morning. There's another 2 copies of another 2 adverts telling all the people who are interested where the demonstration is going to be and what time and so on and so forth. Again, no numbers have been forecast. Nobody can tell whether it's going to be 600 or 6,000, we don't know. And if you are subjected to any barracking or any abuse or any provoking at all, you know, if anybody has a go at you, do your best to ignore them. I can't stress it too highly. You're the ones that are being set up. It's the usual story. They try and show the black side of the prison service. So be aware of it.
No! No! Free the prisoners! Troops out now! Stop the torture! Free the prisoners! Troops out now! Stop the torture! Free the prisoners! Troops out now!
External political pressures are a growing fact of life for British prisons. It has resulted in a similar growth of security and surveillance within the prison system. It is a little-known fact that most major prisons have a security officer liaising with various police forces and the Home Office. In Strangeways, it is Jack Price.
Zulu 10 receiving NTS, over. 10, would you cover the end of Alpha Wing, returning with Papa 1 to Delta 1, over?
Received, will do. In position, over.
Yeah, there's somewhere, I think, possibly 100 or more. Well, at the moment, yeah, we had another faction of the NF, but they decided to disappear. I believe they've gone on to...
nothing to do with the situation on this side of the world at all.
Well, you know, there's no reason. They'll probably blow out of steam eventually.
There is a constant flow of information concerning prisoners regarded as subversive either in the criminal or political sense. Intelligence gathering is not just an activity on the outside, but also inside the walls.
That's just a lot of twaddle, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm an idiot.
The opening and censoring of prisoners' mail is morally justified by the authorities as being vital to security. Its avowed object is to uncover information that might expose more crime, as well as to identify any welfare problems a prisoner might have. It is hardly the most edifying part of a prison officer's job in Strangeways. This practice is a major cause of resentment amongst inmates and has been condemned by many outside bodies, including academics and prisoners' organisations.
Yeah. Is it 75? What's his...
What, the one in envelopes?
Yeah. He's got a thing about bears. He's got a hang-up on bears. Well, do you reckon it's one guy?
Yeah, too much alike for it to be different.
The same,
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Still, Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob.
The need for security results in the constant searching of inmates for illicit possessions. In a prison with well over 1,000 prisoners, a continual watch is kept on trafficking in tobacco, money, drugs, and implements that can be used as weapons. Cells are often turned over through information acquired by the security officers. They listen to any source: a prisoner with a grudge, a prisoner who is frightened, a prisoner who has become a grass.
Show me now.
Man, okay. Take your bed right
Move
now.
back, move back.
Move back.
Thank you, William.
Would you want me to take it?
Just take it right back.
Take the other bed up.
Put the other bed on it away so we can get this one round.
Prisoners rebel against their imprisonment in different ways. Some explode, some fight, or some, like this man, barricade their cell.
Get that chair over there. Go over there, get that chair for you. Can somebody take these out through, please? Hang on, it's round the handle. That's enough. Yeah, pull this table back.
Okay, lad.
Come on, there you go.
Try not to do you.
Undoubtedly, the pressures and tensions of imprisonment are increased when 2 or 3 men share this living space, a cell devised in the Victorian age for one man.
Right. May come in this door, may come in that door, may come in.
Where's it happening here? Or it may be a false alarm.
It could be a false alarm, anything. It could be trouble over in the shops, on the yard, or anything. Any one of 3 doors, it'll be there, or here.
Well, we've got an emphasis on here. Eric, depend on it, like we're giving up on the passageway.
We shall open.
Yeah, there's one there below and open. Stuart, get us what's happening.
Yes, I'll tell you what's happening.
Nobody gone to the shop, so it must be inside.
Interior one. Somebody has rung an alarm bell, and it will register on a master board where the point of the trouble is. The running feet that you heard with the staff being sent to where the trouble area is. Hopefully we'll get a telephone call to warn us that somebody is coming down or to tell us what the trouble was. But until such times as that happens, we clear everything off and make cell space available in case it's a rough do. Yeah.
Dogs out. No, we can't move yet. We can't. You on the radios.
Centre deck gates.
Go away. Go away. What's going on there?
Some of the boys, I think.
What are you doing, lad? Eh? Well, let's see you get on with it. Put that out.
The threatened emergency proved to be a false alarm. Tension, anger, frustration, plus growing political awareness amongst prisoners has led to the sit-down or demonstration becoming a regular occurrence in British prisons. The added problem of overcrowding rising to alarming proportions has also increased the threat of another insurrection on the scale of the Hull riots. That event led to a major step by the authorities to combat a serious disturbance. The formation of Mufti teams, groups of prison officers especially trained in riot control, is a most important and controversial development within the prison service. They emerged without any public debate until their existence was revealed when a team was sent in to help prison staff quell a disturbance in Wormwood Scrubs prison. It has resulted in a full-scale police inquiry.
One, last, clear. Expect the rubbish to come your way. Expect people to start hurling stuff at you. You've had it all before, you'll get it all again. You'll hit the area that's a no man's land, because they're not going to be drawn out too far. And when you consider it safe, away you go, form up at the rear in 2 seconds. Come on, move it!
Prison officers are given Mufti instruction in Strangeways in readiness for a confrontation in this or any prison. All prison officers must now undergo this training.
All right, good morning, gentlemen. First of all, let me tell you why you're here this morning. We're going to sort of do the theoretical background to what is now popularly known as Mufti training. Mufti training, minimal use of force, tactical intervention. Sounds very grand. I think it used to be known as training for riot squads. Right, section leaders, fall in! Team, fall in! Great. Now that's another question. Some of you have got it off, some of you haven't. The riot stave will always, and I repeat, will always remain on your shoulder until such time that you engage the mob. It's for 2 reasons. A, it can clearly be seen. B, that you're not tripping your colleagues up on either side of you. Don't have it wandering around on your shoulder. All right? Now, it's a very emotive subject, and in many cases, we have been, indeed quite recently, we've been the subject of allegations and counter-allegations and investigations. Let me say this to you, that we, in my view, must carry on training. I think it's very necessary, simply because of the ground rules that are laid down. Now, the ground rules have been approved, to the best of my knowledge and belief, by the Home Office, the Prison Department, and all the people who have that responsibility to Parliament. 3 blasts, back, first team in. First team in, away you go, clear the area, form up at the rear. Don't forget the 3 short blasts, or whatever. Advance! Charge! Right, 1 long blast. 1 long blast. That's it. A tactical withdrawal. Keep yourselves formed up. Keep yourselves together. Don't forget, you're getting pelted with all kinds of stuff. It's coming your way. Bricks, slates, mortar, sinks, chairs, abuse, anything you can think of. Now, when you consider that you're in an area that's safe, a no man's land, break off and form up in the rear. Come on, move it.
All of these movements, as far as you people in a section or a team are concerned, from your point of view, they will all be done in complete silence. It has been found by psychiatrists, psychologists and the like, that if you have a body of men coming towards you, togged up like something out of Star Wars, and not one sound coming from them, but them all reacting to words of command coming from the rear, that this in itself is a very, very frightening object to be coming toward you. You'll see it in the gym. We are only playing at it here. We're only going through the motions. But I'll defy any of you to stand in front of a section of 6 men who are coming towards you, all tooled up. You know that they're coming to get you, and I want to see you stand there, because you've more bottle than I've got.
First team in, 2 paces or so to the rear, clear it, and away you go, form up at the rear. Come on, move it, there's somebody else coming in. Right, so there we are. Section, team, get that in your mind. Team leader, and as I say, purely a Manchester sort of idea, a number 2. The chief officer gives the rules, the ground rules. He tells them exactly what he wants, and if they don't obey those rules, then it's the governor's decision and his alone. It dispels this business of, you know, the idea of marauding squads of officers just going around willy-nilly. This does not occur. Right, just while you're having a bit of a respite, the riot stave. You know, again, this is the weapon that seems to create some kind of, I don't know, awe and mystery. Just so that you're in the picture. The average one is, I think, 27 inches long and weighs 18 ounces. Nothing dramatic. The use of the riot stave. When you do use it, if you use it, you always aim for the upper arms and the upper legs. In other words, you catch them across there and there, or there, and the upper arm, and the upper legs. Okay. The reason for that is simply that if you've received a clout in the right place on your arms, you cannot use your arms effectively for several minutes. It doesn't cause permanent damage. That is not the game that we're in. whatever retribution is coming the perpetrator's way is not for us to say. That's a matter for the governor and the judiciary. Let's face the facts. Let's get it down onto the nitty-gritty. You're vulnerable. You'll always be vulnerable. And you're vulnerable to attack, you're vulnerable to weapons, you're vulnerable to assault, and more importantly, you're vulnerable to allegations. And this is why we insist on this high professional discipline training. It's the only way that we are going to win in any kind of confrontation situation. It's the only way that you, as prison officers, are going to come out of it and say, well, it was messy, but we controlled it. It was dangerous, but we got it so that we could manage it in our own way, in our own time. We are not the aggressors. In this situation, you are the controllers. But of course, in that controlling act, you've got to use carefully planned, carefully controlled, disciplined force. Hence the term Mufti. Minimum use of force, and I'm told the other two initials are tactical intervention. So there you are. Think on it, gentlemen.
An official police inquiry continues into alleged assaults by prison officers at Wormwood Scrubs. It has been confirmed that 54 prisoners and 11 officers were injured.